Well, what is up, everybody? Happy Saturday to you. Hope you're ready for a Crucible of War market update. It's the afternoon for me. This video won't post till like 7, but usually I'm like trying to crank it out before like 7:30. And I'm ahead of the game. My daughter's taking a nap. Anyway, let me do some quick shout outs to first off Mitch at Midtown Merchant. Mitch has turned into a great friend. I just like highlighting the single store he's got going on. It's clean. It's awesome. You can utilize a discount code that he's given us, just love 10. That will save you 10% off your order, your first order, and then patrons get access to a discount code every month that gives them 10% off every order. So thank you to Mitch for setting up an awesome shop over there. He's been on the stream a couple of times. It's been a lot of fun. And then also just want to say, if you are using TCG Player to buy cards, if you want to help out the channel, there's a link in my description. It's just an affiliate code, so if you're going to buy cards anyway, it helps out the channel if you use that code. And then also just a huge shout out to all my patrons. It's just amazing to have a community of people to talk to and that are supporting the content. It's a huge blessing to me. So if you're not a patron, I would love for you to sign up. Patrons get access to all these collection trackers. There's one for each set, and then also there's a full collection tracker that gets you access to all the data that I put in to these market updates, and it automatically updates for you week to week. So you just kind of put in the number of cards that you have, and then it auto populates all the way to the total value here for each set and gives you a total value of your collection. There's promos in there that I probably need to start updating a little bit more frequently. I've got kingdoms in there. I've got monarchs set up. So it should be a great way for you to track your collection for a long time. So, all right, let's get into Crucible of War. So a great week. Tons of cards flowing through the market. Let's start with sealed product first. So first off, Channel Fireball has ran out of product at their $480 price point, which was kind of suppressing the market in that $475, $480 the last couple weeks. So they're now sold out on their, as of the filming of this video, they are sold out. And that's driven eBay prices up to around, I mean, this one sold today, but around 500 seems to be the average sell price on eBay. I think if you're in the Facebook market group, you could probably get it a little bit cheaper than that, as people are avoiding the fees. But that seems to be what the price is sitting at for a box. And this has kind of been dipped as product is still trickling in from distributors. And you can see that trend line. Look at that. Boom. We went way up, and we kind of flatlined at 450, and then we spiked to 600. Now we're going to get back to that kind of 450, 500 range until we hit another spike. So, all right, let's go to the Arknight Shard. So there's going to be a little bit of opinions based here, just based on the sale. So, okay, there was a sale of the Arknight Shard that I want to show you at $3,000, okay? And no offense to the lister of this sale, but it is quite possibly the worst sale that I've seen of a $3,000 card ever. Let's show you the original listing here so you can see what I mean. It's one photo. It's in a top loader. It's in a sleeve, probably double sleeved. I mean, you can't tell if that card is beat to heck or if it's in mint condition. I mean, you can kind of see the corners, but there's no photo of the back. I mean, it's just a terrible listing. So I don't really want to include that at $3,000 and say that that's a near mint pricing of a card, because I don't have confidence that these bidders were bidding on a near mint card without evidence that it was near mint. So I just want to say that. I mean, you can then take that with you and say, no, Louis, this is a $3,000 card now, and that's fine. But for my case, I would not look at that and sell my card for $3,000. So I'm leaving at $3,500. I will admit that there is some softening to the card, as the rest of the cards are softening, but I'm not saying that it's a $3,000 card. And we're going to talk about that for Cheyenne too. Let's go ahead and get to the cold foil, the legendaries. We'll talk about that with Cheyenne too. I'm not dropping it from 2,200, and I'll show you why. We had a sale. It's the same seller, okay? It's the same seller. It got $2,000 or 1978, right? And it's the same seller, and it's the same thing. And so I don't know who the seller is. I'm not trying to call him out on anything, but I think he left money on the table by not taking the time to post some other photos of the card. If you're selling a $1,000 card, a $3,000, a $2,000 card, I mean, take the extra 10 minutes to take a couple extra photos of it so people really know the condition. And so I'm not going to let this one seller change the price that I feel the cards are worth. So that is my opinion. I'll go ahead and say that those are undervalued according to those sales, but the market could change in the next couple of weeks, and I'll make sure to share that with you. Spring Tunic is dropping a little bit, not too much though, and then the 20 blade extended art is still sitting at 620. I did want to share with you one kind of funny story I came across. I guess it's not funny. Sorry, I didn't mean to say it was funny. One anomaly story. There was a 20 blade sold for $122 this week. Actually, is this last week? It doesn't matter. But it's kind of a sad story, honestly. These people lost it in a fire, and it got water damaged. So kind of a bummer. But I just wanted to throw that out there, that somebody did continue to buy this for $130, even though it's in the condition that it is in. And it was kind of interesting to see. They shared the photos, and I just wanted to share it with the community. It's kind of a sad thing. These guys probably collecting cards and Magic the Gathering, and you can see the Magic the Gathering cards there, and it's just sad to think about that. So I just wanted to share that. I saw it while I was doing it. I was just like, man, 20 blade extended. One less near mint one in the world, but even way more sad than that is these poor people who went through a fire. So I hope everything's all right. If that's you and you want to share your story, I mean, they kind of shared their story. Let me know. And if you bought the card and you end up flattening it for a fun project card, I'd love to see it. So really a big bummer. I hope they had insurance or something. I think they kind of mentioned that everybody was okay. Anyway, I don't want to get into that too much. I just wanted to share that one kind of thing that happened with that card. So you can see the average is still sitting around $1,000, a little bit soft from last week. All right, let's go to cold foils. Tons and tons of sales, tons of movement. I've seen a lot of these popping in and out of Facebook Marketplace, of Discord, of a lot of different places. I try to take like the average, or like the lowest available. It's kind of hard. This is like the snapshot, right? Like I'm trying to get a snapshot of what has sold publicly, what's available publicly. So make sure whenever you're using my data, you are doing your own research and taking this as like a snapshot of a full value collection, or whatever you want to do with it. So all right, let's talk about some significant ones. Everything is kind of floating around $100, still a little less than that, from 80 to 100. For the rares. There was a significant sale of a redliner that was on eBay, but then there were some that were it was just kind of floating, so I left it on there. Let me pop up on TCG Player. I'll do this live. I meant to look at it too on TCG Player for you, and pop it up on TCG Player for you. So this is redliner. So last sold was 130. So actually I should probably have made this 117. I'll go ahead and do that right now. 117 is kind of sitting there. But there was one on eBay that I wanted to highlight that was sold for 133. So kind of take that all where it is. And then let's see, Talishar at 108. Let's go Skullhorn. These ones were kind of a little more soft this week. We had some a listing on Facebook of Breeze Rider boots that was really low, and then another sold one at $290. So I used the $290 because I don't know why the other one, it was like at $200, which seems like an outlier to me. So I didn't include that. And then Visiortronic, everything's kind of sitting pretty, but everything's just a tad soft, like Metacarpus Node at 319. What's happening is people are opening boxes. They've already got cards, and so then they are listing or they didn't get the one that they wanted, so they're listing it, and they're putting it at TCG low or whatever to get the sale to go off fast. So that they can then purchase a card. Because I think what's happening, honestly, is people don't get the card they want, and they know that the cards are going to start increasing at some point. So there's a fire sale to get the value for the card now, so that they can pick up the card that they need from Crucible. That's my opinion of what's happening. So all in all, we've lost 5% in the cold foils, down to 185.77 as your average. Again, I'm trying to just share with you the data that I see. I did get a little bit opinionated there. If you want more of my opinions, I have a podcast on my Patreon that kind of opens that up. But it seems like these cold foils are averaging out a little bit. Last week we didn't see much change. This week a minus 5% change. We'll see how it reacts to any box differences that happen in the next couple weeks. All right, Majestic Rainbow Foils. We are down 7% on the Majestic Rainbow Foils. A lot of these are really just there's 2 per box compared to Arcane and WTR. So a lot of these are just having a hard time sticking at the price points. Like Spoils of War, it was up at 123 and it's just continuously lost value. This is the current price on TCG Players, $65. I think that was the low price that um, and Magnetic Shockwave is kind of holding still. I mean, some of these ones that are more played are all holding still, but the other ones are just kind of like Poison the Tips and Feigned Death are just kind of soft. And it's just a result of more and more boxes being opened. Aetherize, right? Like a card that was sitting at $25, now it's 16. And Coax of Commotion, though, even Coax of Commotion soft from this week to last week, lost $13. I would, if I didn't have Coax of Commotions, I would be buying this. And then the Tome still, I mean, sitting at 175. It's just a lot of softening, and this is 3 weeks in a row now of softening. I think I said last week we had 2 weeks in a row, and when will this stop? It didn't stop this week. I mean, look at this graph. I mean, those people who purchased all these cards expecting them to continue to rise, and then the boxes came into the market, they must be feeling kind of bad. I mean, they've lost, what is that, 32? They've lost like 25% of their value, those people who bought up here at the peak here. But yeah, those are the rainbow foils, and then the regular Majestics are also down. Again, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of softening. Look at that graph, right? Like it's just crazy. And even the equipment hasn't really changed this week. There's no big changes of the equipment, but it doesn't seem like the market is gobbling up the $38, $40, $50 equipment. So just very interesting to see that the market is continuously changing for these cards. And it just seems like as more boxes come into the market, the singles are dropping in price. And no significant ones that I really wanted to highlight here. Your equipment is still sitting above $30 to $45, depending on the equipment. But then the rest of the cards, kind of the class cards, other than Spoils of War, are sitting between 15 and anywhere from, I guess, 11 for the Ninja stuff. The Ninja stuff's not very popular, but anywhere from 15 to kind of $25 ish. And then your what am I calling it? The generic stuff is sitting in the $25 to $30 range. And then, of course, your equipment I already mentioned. But Coax of Commotion at 26, Gorganian Tome at 34. Did we talk about the Rainbow Gorganian Tome? That's still at 175. That one hasn't changed much from last week. So, all in all, look at that graph, evaluate it. All right, let's get to the rares. Remember, on the rares, I don't use the sold listings. I just find the TCG low prices because it's easier for me to get that data. So, some significant stuff. The heroes, the foil heroes, are still sitting pretty good. Zen State tokens still sitting pretty good. Kasai foil has lost a little bit of value. Cavdane is still sitting pretty good. Cash in is still, I mean, it's lost a little bit of value. Sellers have dropped it a little bit, but I do know that I did look those up. Those are still selling, and I just actually sold the non-foil one yesterday on TCG Player, so they're definitely still selling. Lunging Press still selling. Springboard Somersault is losing a little bit of value. All in all, though, sellers have lowered their prices 8%. Last week they didn't lower them. This week they did in those rainbow foil rares. And a lot of the same here for the regular rares. We're still losing value, kind of 3 weeks in a row now, minus 11% this week. Again, cash in. I did sell one of those for $9 yesterday. So they're moving. The cards are all moving. The rares are all moving, but sellers are lowering their prices. They're not moving as fast as they want. So sellers are lowering their prices by 11% this week. And you can see that graph's funny too, right? Like here's the spike, and then everybody sold their cards, and then we kind of gradually went up, and now people are selling their cards again. So, all right, the common rainbow foils, the only ones that I wanted to highlight were Crack Bobble still sitting at 55, $60. Quicken and Copper Token still a lot of value. Rune Chant still sitting at $4 or $5. A lot of these cards, the other ones aren't really moving or doing much. Ira is another one to talk about. Where was Ira? Ira sitting at $35, and Seismic Surge sitting at $9. So all those cards still holding value. All in all, though, we had a 7%. Everything's down across the board if you haven't caught on. So let's go ahead and get to our EV calculation. So if you were to open up a box, you would average 1 cold foil, 7 majestics, 2 foil majestics, 41 rares, 5 foil rares, and then you have the 10th of a chance of getting a legendary. And so what that gets you here is a box EV of $572. And if you open 10 boxes, right? Because you have you're at the mercy of getting the chance of a legendary. So without the legendary, you're sitting at $471. So if you're just opening one box, really you're sitting at like $471 is what you should expect to get. So let's look to see where this 572 compares to last week's numbers. That's a decrease of 5%. And again, 3 weeks in a row that we've been decreasing. And our numbers are getting actually kind of close to like the not really that close. I guess we're at like 50% of the pre-spike numbers, which I thought was kind of an interesting token of knowledge there. These were the numbers of the really big spike that happened. And so just kind of an interesting thought process there. Actually, let me double check that I was right there. I may have just said that, and that might not be accurate. The spike really happened more. Yeah, I was wrong. Sorry. Ignore that last bit. I was wrong. The spike happened in. I forgot that I tracked the values differently for the dates of the sealed product. So that was wrong. We are not at half of the thing. This is kind of mid spike, right? So this is even mid spike right here when I started tracking the data of the cards. Anyway, I hope you have a good day. The Crucible of War, we'll see when the boxes slow down, right? Like when the boxes slow down, things are going to happen. So hope you have a good day. Remember to be kind to the people around you, and have a good one.